morning, Ryan. Hope you had a good time on those roller coasters. Sounds like a lot of fun. And thank you. Very high compliments. Very much appreciated. You say you're giving away tons of free information. You said thousands of dollars worth of content and material, and you're obviously doing something right because you're, getting people there and you're getting subscribers. But the problem seems to be, from what I understand, in your response rate. I should say up front that I can't really give specific advice since I haven't personally reviewed your systems or your autoresponders or your opt-ins or anything like that, your traffic generation methods even. If you have a 400 people on your list, if you have 400 beta testers and you get 40 of them to a live event, then that's a 10% response rate. And that's not bad. It's not phenomenal, but it's not bad. And I'm going to share a few tips with you. Hopefully some of these will apply to what you're doing specifically, so that's what we're going to start with. First of all, stop giving away so much information. What you're doing is you're building a list of freebie seekers, and when people come online for information, that's what they're looking for. But if you give away the farm up front, then there's really no reason for them to keep coming back or keep opening your emails, for example. So what you want to do instead is you want to work on building a list of more qualified prospects. And the best way to do that is to build a list of buyers. A low-cost report, for example, is always a great option. But even when you're giving away something for free, you really have to set it up so that they expect more from you. They get that anticipation factor going, to look forward to your next message, that kind of thing. So on the download page, for example, you might say something like, here's the download link, and watch for an email from me in a couple of days because I have something else to share with you as well. Just something as simple as that to get that anticipation factor going. If you're having problems, this is second tip, if you're having problems with your open rate, then you want to take a second look and reevaluate your email subject lines. We all get a lot of emails, so that subject line really has to pop. It has to stand out in that full inbox and get their attention. So that's the second tip that I would share is reevaluate your subject lines and how they're working specifically you want it all to be related from that initial search or from the way that those people found you and signed up for your list initially. So what were they searching for, or how did they find you, what did they expect, and you want that follow-up to be in tune with that same conversation that's already going on between you and this subscriber. The third thing is the first few follow-up messages that you send out are really vital to this relationship that you're building with your readers. It's not just about content. I mean, there are a lot of factors involved. Let's say, for example, that you're emailing a really busy group of professionals that are kind of scanning their email and they're speed reading and things like that. Then you want to keep those messages really short and punchy. So like if they open up your first couple of messages and they're like 5 pages long, I mean, they're just going to close it and move on. It's just overwhelmed. So be careful about giving away too much in the email message itself, particularly if you're targeting a group that you know is going to be very busy and probably not be able to give you that kind of time and attention just in the email. So you want to use those messages short, punchy, to compel them to take some sort of action. So once you have them anticipating future messages, actually opening those messages, then number 4, we want to work on that response rate, meaning getting them to take some kind of action within those messages. And you don't want to try to sell them anything yet. First, you have to kind of get them used to responding or interacting with you. So you want to keep it simple. Invite them to comment, post a question, to send you an email reply, or something like that. And I hesitate to use this word, but I've heard it used sometimes when people are teaching marketing, but that you want to train your subscribers to interact with you. Let's go back to the original product that you gave them in exchange for their email address. You said that you were giving away a free product. You were building this very targeted list. Did they open your product? I mean, did they consume all that great free information that you gave to them? You want to make sure that they're consuming your initial product. So here's what you do. Your first follow-up message should be 24 to 48 hours. It should be 1 to 2 days after they've signed up for your list, which means they downloaded your product. And you want this to be an autoresponder, of course, so that it's automated, obviously, and so that it gets to them at the exact same time of the day or what have you that they downloaded your product. So if I opt in at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., then a day or two later I want to get that follow-up message from you at 8 p.m. And this is important because we're all creatures of habit. So most of us, we get online at a certain time during the day. We have our kind of our action periods at the same time every day, and weekdays may vary from weekends, so that's important. But usually, if we're taking action on something, that's our action hour. So me, for example, I do most of my researching, my downloading, even my buying in the morning hours before lunch, and that's just my schedule. Since everyone's going to be a little bit different on your list, depending, then the autoresponder, you can take care of that by sending that out, 48 hours later, for example. So anyway, what you want to do in that first follow-up message is get them to open your product. Again, the subject line is incredibly important, and then in that message, you want to point out something of interest that's on a specific page within your product. So for example, you might say, I'd love to hear what you thought of the 4 secret strategies mentioned on page 9. One of my readers wrote in and said that it improved her response rate by 47%. And then you can say, don't you agree? Or this is great results, don't you agree? Just something like that. This is going to make them curious, and if they have not already opened your product or they don't already know exactly what you're talking about, it's going to make them go back to that product and take a second look or check it out for the first time. So that's important. You need them to consume your product so you can get that initial relationship going with them. Now, if your product sucks, and that may be where you're losing people. And I'm not saying that's the case, but you definitely need to get some feedback on that. We all think that our product is great, but our target market is what really counts. So maybe you can find a few people on some social Q&A sites that will review your product. Maybe you can offer a small fee in exchange for some honest feedback. And this is also a great way to get those testimonials or those little quotes that you can use in that follow-up message. So when I say social Q&A sites, I'm referring to mylot.com, askville.com, or Yahoo Answers, or something like that. You can also go into discussion forums that are niche related if the moderator will allow you to do that. But above all, just bottom line, my advice is going to be this. Forget making sales. Forget making money with that list for now. First, you need to figure out how you can connect with your readers and really build on that relationship. So that's the key. And you asked me how I do it, and my answer is simple. I've been doing this for a long time. I've developed a really great relationship with the majority of my readers. This is actually my 12th year online. I've made it a point to really connect with my readers, to build that trust and that loyalty. And on their end, so that they trust me to deliver the best information, honest reviews. So I'll give you an example, and this is kind of a little bit of a funny story on me, but I got some news recently about an upcoming product that is perfect for my readers. And I'm always kind of on the lookout, for things that can help them out, but it's really hard to find things that are just right on target with the information and still in the right price range. Anyway, I got so excited about this particular product, which is not out yet, by the way, that I started working on my promotion strategy. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it, and I was talking about it over the weekend with my friend Adriana, and she says, so how will you make money on that exactly? And I kind of stopped, and I laughed. It's almost funny. I said, I honestly don't know. I said, that's a good question. I'd better go find out. So the point is that whether you're running a community or you're managing an email list, you really have to have your market's interest in mind above and beyond your own. And I know that sounds backwards. Yes, I'm an internet marketer. That's what I do for a living, full time. But without my readers, I'd be riding into a black hole. And when I help them find success, well, then we all find success. So you got to get in there. You got to get in the trenches with them, figure out what they want, what they need, and then you've got to make sure they're getting it from you, of course. So you got to let them know that you care, that your interest is genuine. You really have to ask for feedback and then take action on those points that they give you. Try some of this out. I'd like to know how it works out for you. Definitely keep me posted. I'd like to hear more, and of course let me know if you'd like me to take a closer look at some of your systems. Maybe we can brainstorm some of those points together. And don't worry, I'll hit you up for my space advice in exchange.